In previous video, we go through how we are going to use Stream API and Stream API methods, and what are the benefits it is giving to us, what is the advantages, what are the code shortening Stream API method is doing in our code, how easy to read it makes our code, how code reduction is happening when we are using the Stream API. Now let's go through some more examples. So here is the example. Let me go through one new example. Suppose here I have this list, integer list, having certain values. So these are the some values that I have right here. What I want, let's say. So in normal coding, what we are going to do is, let's do it. We are going to iterate the list. Integer I, and if I is divisible by 2, what is it, and then it's 0. If I is divisible by 2 and the rest gives a 0, then print the I. Let's run this code. So only even number we are getting. For odd number, let's make it not. Only odd number is coming. But in case of stream, what we can do? Let me show you what we can do. Here, what we can do is, first create the stream, run the stream method on list. We get the predicate method, not predicate method, we get the filter that is taking the predicate. Inside the predicate we have what method? Test method, that is going to return boolean. So now when filter is taking predicate interface, means we have to provide the implementation of the method of predicate interface. How you can do that? You can write the lambda expression right here. You can do the method references. You can do the lambda expression and store that into the corresponding reference variable of type predicate interface. You can store the method reference into the reference variable of type predicate interface. These are the 4 ways. These are not only the 4 ways, there are only 2 ways. Writing lambda expression, we can write lambda expression, or we can write method reference. But other 2 ways are if we are not writing lambda expression right here, we are writing lambda expression in suppose right here, then we are going to store that lambda expression in the reference variable and we are going to pass that reference variable here. So basically there are two ways, but we can consider it as four ways. So let's not write it with lambda expression. Let's write it with what? Let's say we want to write it with method reference. So we have test method. When we are going to write it with method reference, when means there is going to be available method which is having same logic that we want to write in lambda expression, because method reference is used to create the lambda expression, but not by the writing the lambda expression, by using the existing method reference. So let's create a static method, public static method that is going to return the boolean. Suppose is even, that is going to take some values, return true, return false if I get divided by 2 and there is nothing left, then it returns true, means it is even number. Let's create other method. Let's say is odd, not, we are using not operator. If I is getting, I which is going to come here is getting divided by 2 and it's not completely 0, there are some things, some digit get left, it's not completely 0, so it returns true when it is odd, when this condition happens. Now in predicate we want to check the even number. So what is happening? Let's call this method reference lab4 is even, because it's static, we are doing here static method reference. Lab4 is even. Now it is going to return a string. Then we can use the for each method to print, or we can use for each method right here. So whatever value is coming, just print it. Let me write one important message right here in the comment that I have written in the previous example as well, which is pipeline. When you are using stream method of stream API of Java 8 with a list, every element of list got inserted into a pipeline. Now on that pipeline you can invoke multiple methods, like I am invoking filter method, I am invoking for each method. These two methods are getting invoked on this pipeline which is having element of list, and those elements of list which is inside this pipeline are going to get evaluated according to this filter, according to these two methods. We are invoking these two methods on this pipeline that is having element, so those elements are going to evaluated based on these two methods. This is how simple stream API stream method makes your coding. Just simply run this. Look, let me comment this out. only even number. If we want odd number, simply print odd number. Odd method is odd. Another thing you have to notice is we don't have to call the accept method explicitly. It is getting called internally. We don't have to in filter. It is taking predicate interface, means we have to write the implementation for test method. So we don't have to call the test method explicitly. It is getting called internally. When this is happening, when we are working with stream API, when we are working with stream method, everything got inserted in a pipeline. We invoked couples of methods on the pipeline, or more than 2 method or 3 method on pipeline. Based on those method, those element will get evaluated. So you can see these are the odd numbers, these are the even numbers get evaluated. Let's go back to our examples of nodes. These are the same examples. Here you can see we are using filter, but here we are using lambda expression. We are not using method reference. Here we are using lambda expression. We are not using method reference. What else we can do? We can even not use lambda expression. We can store here. We are storing lambda expression in reference variable of type predicate functional interface, and we can pass here this reference variable. That can also work. We can write method reference as we are doing in current code. We can also do this. We can store this method reference in reference variable and pass that reference variable. We can also do that. So these are the 4 ways basically. Just remember these 2 ways, or you can say 4 ways. By doing with lambda expression, by doing with method reference. These are the 2 ways, or you can store the method lambda expression or method reference in some reference variable and pass that reference variable in here. These are the other 2 ways. So you see, same thing is happening, odd or even thing. In here, what is happening? Here is a list, array list. We are writing stream, and we have taking the stream instance, and we are just printing with the for each method. We can also use, we can also go with this method chaining thing. Can also do with iterator. We can also do with iterator and list iterator if we have collection type objects. Skip peak, skip limit peak, sorted distinct. So these are the 2 methods I have. Not 2 methods. Skip are the skip method, limit method, peak method, sorted method, distinct method. We have to go through these 2 methods. Let's do the code for these 3 methods: skip, limit, peak. Let me make a copy of this class itself, what it is saying. Yes, close everything. 5, remove these methods, remove everything. Skip, we have to see skip and limit peak method. So we have list. Of course, we are going to use the string method. We have to use skip method. So we are using skip method, and we are writing, suppose here 2. We are skipping 2 elements, and then we are trying to print by using for each method. So again, this is pipeline. Just remember the pipeline word and you will find this stream easy to understand. Everything got inserted in the pipeline on which we are using multiple methods. Every element got inserted in the pipeline on which we are using multiple methods. Skip. We are skipping 2 elements and for each. Run this thing. When we are running this one, you can see that 55 and 22 got skipped. It is starting to print from 0. So 2 elements got skipped. This is what a skip method is. What is limit method? Limit method. Suppose 5 is the limit. So only 5 elements got printed. Element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 88. Only these 5 elements are getting printed. Beyond that, nothing is getting printed. Can we use skip method and limit method both on this stream pipeline? We can say, of course, on this stream, on this pipeline, we can use multiple methods. So first we are using skip 3. Understand only this thing. We are skipping 3 elements. And then we are providing limit of 5. After these 3 elements, everything is going to get printed. But on that, we are providing the limit 5. So these are the 3 elements got skipped. After that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only this 5 element will be printed. Beyond that, everything will be left. So you can see 3 elements. We are skipping 3 elements. And after that, only 5 elements we are taking only 5 elements. So 1 with the 87, 2, 3, 4, 5, only till 7. 8 is not being taken. After these 5, beyond these 5 elements, nothing is being considered. So these are the skip. Let's write pick method. We have skipped, let's do the pick method, which is taking consumer, means the same thing that for each is taking. Let's make it error. So you can see here, everything that is inside this pipeline is getting duplicated. 22, 22, 0, 0, here 78, 87, 87, 88, 88, 1000, 10, 76, everything got duplicated by using pick method. Can we use skip? So suppose we are skipping 2 elements. Then what will happen? Let's see. 2 elements got skipped. After that, for every element is getting duplicated. So you can also use limit. So let's do some another kind of things. First, what we are doing, we are making filter in which there is going to be a predicate in in, let's say, even number, odd number, then so what is happening? This bracket belongs here. Filter in. Okay, there is going to be another bracket needed. So it is like this. What you can do, let me tell you, you can even simplify this line when you are doing filter. So this is your condition. So what you can write here is simply this line and remove this thing. It also works. So it's just a thing that what you can remove, what you can write. So this is also doing a filter. If it is going to be this condition, then it is going to return true. If this condition is not going to meet, then it is going to return false. So what I am doing, so what I was doing is filter for each so you know this thing, we are seeing skip, limit and peak method. So this is by this method, after this method, only the odd number, we are getting only odd numbers. Then we are going to use peak method, which is going to double this values, make duplicate. So by peak ERR, so the red one are being generated by the peak method because here ERR, and by out this are the black one. So we have done the peak. Now what we can use limit method. Suppose 2. Let's run this. So this is also fine. Or if the next thing I want to show you is, let's remove this limit. Suppose we are doing peak before doing filtering. So what will happen? In this stream, right now there is nothing, no filter, no methods have evaluated, got involved on this pipeline. So with peak, everything is going to get duplicated. You can see here. Just remove this filter. Nope. What I was doing is, you can see everything is getting duplicated, every data. Now after this peak, if we are going to use this filter, then what will happen? Here you can see the interesting thing about the peak method. If you are using filter method after peak, after duplicating every data, if you are using filter method, then that filter is only going to applicable on the original data. Look, these are the original datas. So only on the original data, which is black one, these filter have been applied. Filter is not getting applied on the data that is getting duplicated by the peak method. So remember this. This is also the important question. It can be the important question if someone asks you about the peak method. When you peak, duplicate of every data will happen, duplication of every data will happen, and after the peak, if you are using any method on that pipeline, then that method is only going to affect the elements of the original data. Those methods are only going to affect the values, elements of the data that is not generated by the peak method. Those data will only get affected by the method that is not getting duplicated by the peak method. Only on the original data. Only original data is going to be affected by the methods that we are going to use after peak method. Listen very carefully. Only original data will be get affected by the methods that we are going to use after the peak method. The data that is going to get duplicated by the peak method is not going to get affected by the methods that we are going to use after that peak method. That's all. Sorted or distinct method. So here you can see it is not distinct. It is in combination. Sometimes peak data, sometimes original data comes. So you can use. There are more ways to use sorted method. We are going to use those, but for instance, take it as like this. Here data got sorted. Original data got separated and duplicate data that is happened by the peak got duplicated. Else what? Distinct. So to use distinct data, let's remove all this. Suppose we have 1000 2 times, 0 2 times, 87 2 times. Remove other things. Here you can see duplicate data are also getting extracted, iterated. If you want to get only distinct data, then use distinct, simple as that. Look, only distinct data are getting extracted. 100 or 1000 are 2 times, zeros are 2 times, 87 are 2 times. Here only they are getting iterated only once. So basically these are the sorted and distinct method, and these are some more examples by using filter and map and limit. You can go through all this by yourself. Make sure you we'll do the practice of codes that are provided in this PDF. That is going to be well enough to understand Java 8. Here, what else we have? We have 2 pages of questions. Write the program for the following question based on Stream API. So basically, write the program for the following questions based on Stream API. So like we are using Stream method, that is adding everything in a pipeline, and on that pipeline we are invoking multiple methods, and those elements inside the pipeline getting evaluated based on those methods that we are invoking on that pipeline. So basically these 2 pages are containing the questions that you have to solve in order to clear your Stream API concept with full understanding. If you are able to solve these 2 pages of questions by using Stream API, by using Stream method from the Stream API, then you will consider yourself that you know Stream API well enough to go to any interviews, to sit in any question and answering sessions. You can easily find yourself answering the questions related to the Stream API. So make sure to do these questions, or maybe in future video I will cover up all these questions. There are 18 questions. I am going to cover all these questions in a separate video, but for till then you can consider that this playlist of Java 8 of JDK 8 of Java 8 of JDK 8, this playlist or this concept Java 8 is completed by our side. If you have done the practices, the codes practices that has been given in this PDF, then I am saying that a lot of time, but let me say that again. If you have gone through all these practices, that you know the Java 8 or JDK 1.8 very well. There is no concept left behind. In the Java 8, you can do every codes, you can solve any problems by using the classes, interfaces and methods from the Java 8. You can make your code less complex. You can achieve certain goals, you can write certain requirements by less line of codes. You can write those codes in more understandable format. You can write those codes as they can be used again and again. So this is what Java 8 features provides us. So we have seen all these features. Here is the Joda date API. There is nothing in Joda date API. As we to work with dates or calendars, basically to work with dates, we use 2 classes in Java. That is, one class is java.util.date class and another class is customer class. But in those classes, date and customer classes, when we want to work with date in Java, we can face multiple complexity. There are certain design flaws in those classes when we are talking about working with dates. So to simplify working with dates in Java, the Sun macrosystem has provided lot of other interfaces, lot of other classes, and all those inside all those interfaces and classes there are methods, of course. So the bundle of those classes and interfaces, we are calling those classes and interfaces or those bundle as an Joda API. You can go through this by yourself, or else we are going to cover these two practice sets, these two question pages of Stream API. After that, we can go through the Joda API as well. So stay tuned for the next video, which we are going to cover these 18 methods, these two pages, which is containing all these questions, 18 questions, and we have to solve all these 18 questions by not using simple regular Java programming. We have to solve all these 80 questions by using Stream API. So we are going to see this in future video, and also we are going to cover the Joda API in future video. Till then, every features, default method in interface, static method in interface, lambda expression, method references, functional interface, functional programming, Stream API, optional classes, and other miscellaneous features I already have told you. So these are the features that we have covered of the Java 8 or JDK 1.8. These are the features that I have introduced from the Java 8, and we have covered this much of features. So we can say that now you are well trained to answer any questions related to the Java 8. You are ready to do any coding related to the Java 8. So stay tuned for next video. And another important thing is, don't forget to do the practice, must do the practice that are available in this PDF, and you will find this PDF in descriptions of every videos for this Java 8 playlist. So must do the codes to become, let's say, more trained in Java 8 concept. So stay tuned.